Hello and welcome to Policy Pulse, where we give you a quick snapshot of the advocacy and policy work of the past month. Also, Teone, why don't you kick off with our suite of submissions?
Yes, thanks, Kristy. Our submission to the Australian Bureau of Statistics ANZCO update stresses the importance of recognising new and emerging occupations in our industry, given the critical skills shortage, particularly as it relates to engineers, scientists and architects. Occupations identified by Consult Australia as requiring update in future ANZCO targeted reviews include digital engineer or BIM manager, energy efficiency engineer and fire engineer. We also contributed to the National Skills Commission Skilled Priority List survey, advocating for prioritisation of industry occupations in shortage. We relied heavily on advice from members, but also the findings of Infrastructure Australia's Market Capacity Report released late last year. We also submitted to the Productivity Inquiry, making 10 recommendations to lift Australia's productivity. Our solutions fit into the categories of legislative reform, funding reform, and policy reform. All our favourite topics are covered, including, but not only, de-risking for delivery, go slow to go fast, and digital by default.
That's great, but what members don't realise is that all of those submissions were due in the same week, which is a bit exhausting. But anyway, investing time in submissions does actually pay off, especially when we see our influence in action, which we have in 2 recent reports by Infrastructure Australia. Delivering Outcomes sets out the roadmap to the reforms identified in last year's 15-year infrastructure plan, and Regional Strengths looks at the diverse needs of regional centres and how infrastructure needs to be unique to meet those demands. Consult Australia was quoted by Infrastructure Australia, and we maintain our Agents for Change title. Following on from that, we've had really good media coverage with Nicola, as well as some of our members being quoted in The Australian, the Fifth Estate and the AFR.
We should also mention the Group of 8 policy paper, which was just launched and sets out a policy proposal for the future funding of engineers. The Group of 8 are the 8 deans of Australia's leading universities. The policy proposal is supported by Consult Australia, and we have used it in our recent submissions and also in our federal budget submission. Remember, members, check out latest news to see our summary of the federal budget, which was announced on the evening of Tuesday, 29 March.
Oh my goodness, look at the time. I haven't even talked about the engagement we've had with the Department of Home Affairs, the Minister for Small Business, the Federal Ombudsman for Small Business, the Shadow Treasurer. So much to talk about, but please read latest news for more detail, and Consulting Matters, our quarterly magazine, which will also have more details. Or you could just give me a call and I'll give you all the details. Thanks very much for watching. A quick update for members on some wins we've achieved recently. The final report of the Parliamentary Inquiry into Government Procurement has been released, and Consult Australia is throughout the final report being cited on things such as risk, civil liability reform, and solutions to solve the procurement ills that currently plague us. A summary of our advocacy wins on that paper is available on latest news. Also, the federal budget has a few wins in it for us. Please see our summary on the latest news website. But key for small businesses is the promise to change the Commonwealth procurement rules to allow direct contracting for certain contracts, and also a requirement on procurement officials to ensure that insurance and liability limits aren't set at pre-tender phase, so that it creates a barrier for small business. So one of those barriers reduced. Also, a recent free trade agreement with India has prioritised engineers and architects, ensuring mutual recognition of those occupations, and we'll be submitting shortly on some other free trade agreements seeking similar dispensation and recognition. So just a quick update there, and thanks very much. See you next time.